Hello, everyone. We are so glad that you're here and welcome to our 15-year anniversary party. I'm Lucy and I want to welcome you to our little party here in Chiang Rai. We want to know where you're calling in from and where you're joining us from. So can you put in the chat your city and your country that you're calling from? Alana's saying hello to you from our California base. Thank you so much for joining us for this incredibly special milestone. 15 years, wow, such a long time. And so much has happened over the last 15 years. Who knew that when Rachel Sparks and Rachel Goebel met Kat, a young, vulnerable girl here in northern Thailand, and the documentary that was made about her life, how much would grow out of that? We moved from an empty rice field to multiple offices, from that documentary to an entire organization. We've really grown and changed so much. We've had so many red letter days, like the day that we got air conditioning in the office or the day that we got internet. And truly, the Freedom Stories story has been one of growth and change that we have walked together. So many of you have walked with us from the very beginning of the organization, and I want to say thank you so much. We are so grateful for all that we have achieved together, and we're looking forward to celebrating that tonight. We chose for tonight's theme, Risk to Resilience, not only because we think that this really is the story of so many of the young people that we work with who are moving from places of vulnerability to places of strength through your generosity and their hard work, but also because it's the story of us as an organization, starting out in a place with so much risk, so much vulnerability, and really moving to a place of strength and expertise and thriving resilience, walking alongside our students and their families to really cultivate their natural talent, their natural resilience, and turn that into strength. And the best part is, these stories aren't fiction, they're real. We would not have gotten to where we are today without your support, and we are ready to celebrate all that we have achieved. We'll talk a little bit about the growth we've seen over the years. We'll hear from one of our longest term supporters, Christina, and the part that I know that we're all most excited about, hearing directly from Somying, one of our former scholarship students. She'll share with you directly about her experience with the Freedom Story, how her life has changed, and she's joining us for a live Q&A. And don't forget, we still have our silent auction, so be sure to get your bids in for our party favors in the silent auction. There's things like an overnight stay in Belize, lots of wine and wine tasting for your end of year celebrations or maybe gifts, and the auction closes at 8 p.m. PST. The auction has been put in the chat, and there's a QR code here on the screen if that's easier. Before our party really gets going in full swing, let's take some time to check out our silent auction party favors together. Did you get your bids in? Personally, I want to know who's going to Belize. Are you ready? Because the party's really getting into full swing, and we're going to take some time to recap how the freedom story has grown over the last 15 years. Check out this gorgeous video that we put together as a recap for you.
Our story began with the story of one life, Kat's life. I'm sure many of you remember her, or even met her when she came to visit in California for our 10th anniversary. She was so vulnerable at that time, but our founders saw her potential and the possibility to change things around. That one idea literally sparked a movement, a whole organization, a whole community dedicated to ensuring children don't have to sell themselves just to survive. One student turned into 20, and eventually into over 400 scholarship students, most of them getting recurring scholarships so we could follow them through their education all the way to graduation to see them safely into a promising adulthood. Many of you walked with us through those early years, so many people from so many walks of life, churches, colleges, entrepreneurs, everyone coming together, inspired to act generously to change the course of these kids' lives. We did our research, but we could also just see with our very own eyes how complex these kids' needs were. It's not just about telling people, don't sell sex, and that's it, right? You have to change the circumstances that make it feel to them like that's their only choice. You have to make other choices possible. That's how scholarships grew into mentorships, and mentorships into resource centers, and a computer lab, home visits, programs to develop alternative sources of income, and of course, constant awareness raising. Traffickers adapt. Traffickers know how to hit people where they're vulnerable and make it seem like what they're offering is a real escape. We're here to show another way. Education. Education and community. Building people up from the inside out. And we've learned and grown too, like how we realized our original name, The Sold Project, didn't capture what we truly wanted to convey. We're not about selling, we're about freedom. And our conversations with the people we were impacting showed us how to evolve our storytelling to ensure their dignity as beneficiaries. We took those lessons and launched a whole movement for ethical storytelling in nonprofit work. And we're proud to say we've established ourselves as leaders in prevention. We're changing the conversation about what it means to truly combat child trafficking. The legitimacy we've built earned us things like a grant from USAID that empowered us to reach even further to migrant worker communities so we could help the vulnerable families there. We are ensuring that vulnerable people who are seeking a better life here in Thailand don't face exploitation and abuse. We also expanded into non-province, home to one of our staff members who had been with us since almost the beginning. He saw what we were doing in Chiang Rai and wanted to bring the power of prevention to his own home, where so many kids face the options of selling sex or selling drugs to survive. And you probably know the scholarships are just the beginning. We've reached over 21,000 people through our human rights program, teaching people about their human and legal rights, how to claim them, and how to respond if their rights have been unlawfully infringed. We've helped hundreds of children get a more secure legal status in Thailand, providing access to rights like land ownership, education, and health care. And over 1,600 people have been able to access our income generation projects, helping them overcome poverty. For 15 years now, the Freedom Story has been a global family of supporters. Thank you to all of the individuals and foundations from 20 countries and approximately 650 cities around the world who have given so generously to prevention. The last 15 years would not have been possible without you.
And this is actually just a snippet of all that we've achieved in the last 15 years. Those 400 students who have been scholars with us that you heard about, those are 400 children whose lives have been completely transformed by being part of our work. And actually, not just them, but their families. 400 children who otherwise would have been in extreme vulnerability to being trafficked and exploited in horrific and horrendous ways, who now lead lives of choice and opportunity and are thriving, working as teachers, working as lawyers, as business owners. It's really amazing to see how well they're doing. And 21,000 people who have been empowered to access their rights, things like health care, land ownership, and basic education, rights that we all need in order to live thriving lives. We are so excited about all that we have achieved over the last 15 years and so thankful for all the impact we have had. I am so excited that this holiday season, we are hoping to raise $100,000 in order to reach new children in new communities, to change more lives and transform more families and communities from a place of risk to becoming a place of resilience. And proceeds from tonight's event and all throughout the end of year will go directly towards these programs to ensure that new children and these new communities become part of our network of prevention. In the meantime, we wouldn't be here without the work of our incredibly dedicated local staff, many of whom have been with us for 5, 10, or even 15 years. We are who we are because of our people, and our staff are a huge part of that. And they are so excited to share with you what their experience of working with Freedom Story is like.
สวัสดีค่ะชื่อลักษณ์ค่ะก็ทำงานในฝ่ายสิทธิมนุษยชนค่ะแล้วก็ปัจจุบันเนี่ยทำงานกับ Freedom Story เกือบจะ8 ปีแล้วค่ะลักษณ์ทำงานส่วนใหญ่เกี่ยวกับเรื่องของการให้ความรู้ค่ะอบรมให้ความรู้กับเด็กกลุ่มเยาวชนแล้วก็กลุ่มผู้ใหญ่ในเรื่องของสิทธิมนุษยชนสิทธิเด็กการป้องกันการค้ามนุษย์แล้วก็ภัยออนไลน์รวมถึงสถานการณ์ต่างๆที่ทำให้เกิดความเสี่ยงต่อบุคคลนั้นที่จะตกเป็นเหยื่อของการค้ามนุษย์ค่ะ
สวัสดีครับบอลทศพลกิตต้านะครับซึ่งที่ผ่านมานะครับมีความประทับใจในส่วนของการทำงานร่วมกับเด็กนะครับเพราะว่าเราได้เห็นเด็กที่อยู่ในโครงการนะครับมีคุณภาพชีวิตที่ดีขึ้นนะครับมีภูมิคุ้มกันที่ดีนะครับแล้วก็สามารถที่จะปกป้องตัวเองนะครับห่างจากการค้ามนุษย์นะครับแล้วก็ด้านของผู้ปกครองเองนะครับก็เป็นอีกส่วนหนึ่งนะครับที่เราได้เห็นชีวิตของผู้ปกครองนะครับมีคุณภาพชีวิตที่ดีขึ้นนะครับตามโปรเจกต์ที่เราทำนะครับ1 ครอบครัว 1 โครงการนะครับในเรื่องของการส่งเสริมรายได้ของผู้ปกครองเด็กทุนโครงการครับผม
สวัสดีค่ะชื่อนิ้งนะคะก็ทำงานที่ The Freedom Story ได้ 6 ปีแล้วค่ะประทับใจในตัวเพื่อนร่วมงานด้วยในการที่ซัพพอร์ตแล้วก็ให้สนับสนุนเด็กในการที่จะพัฒนาในตัวเองได้ดีค่ะแล้วก็ประทับใจในตัวเด็กของเรา
องค์กรให้โอกาสไม่ว่าจะเป็นการให้โอกาสเจ้าหน้าที่หรือว่าตัวเจ้าหน้าที่เองเนี่ยก็ให้โอกาสเชื่อมต่อไปยังกับกลุ่มคนต่างๆในชุมชนโดยเฉพาะอย่างยิ่งรักทำงานกับแกนนำซึ่งไม่ว่าจะเป็นแกนนำเด็กหรือว่าแกนนำแรงงานข้ามชาติเขาได้รับโอกาสจากเราเพราะว่าการจะช่วยเหลือใครคนใดคนหนึ่งเนี่ยให้มีศักยภาพมันจำเป็นจะต้องใช้ทรัพยากรแล้วก็ใช้เวลาค่อนข้างมากค่ะ Freedom Story ให้โอกาสเขาเหล่านั้นในการพัฒนาศักยภาพแล้วก็ให้เขามีบทบาทในการมาจัดการดูแลหรือว่าช่วยเหลือชุมชนทำให้เกิดการเปลี่ยนแปลงที่ดี
สวัสดีค่ะชื่อน้ำนะคะน้ำทำงานด้านการเงินและธุรการนะคะน้ำทำงานกับ The Freedom Story มาได้เกือบ6 ปีแล้วค่ะสิ่งที่เป็นแรงบันดาลใจในการทำงานของน้ำก็คือน้ำค่ะเป็นคนหนึ่งที่มาจากสถานสงเคราะห์แล้วก็ได้รับโอกาสในการศึกษาจนทำให้มีคุณภาพชีวิตที่ดีจนถึงทุกวันนี้นะคะน้ำก็เลยอยากจะส่งต่อโอกาสนี้ให้กับน้องๆที่ยังขาดโอกาสอยู่นะคะก็ให้ได้รับการศึกษาแล้วก็มีคุณภาพชีวิตที่ดีเหมือนน้ำด้วยเช่นกันค่ะ
แรงบันดาลใจของรักเกี่ยวกับการทำงานก็มาจากการที่เราเป็นเด็กในชุมชนค่ะแล้วก็เห็นการเปลี่ยนแปลงหลายอย่างซึ่งตอนนั้นเรายังเด็กพอที่จะไม่สามารถช่วยเหลือคนอื่นได้พอเติบโตมาเรามีโอกาสที่จะช่วยเหลือเราก็อยากจะทำให้เต็มที่ค่ะตอบโจทย์แล้วก็ทำงานด้วยกันได้มาตลอดค่ะ
Thank you, everyone. That was really touching. Now, of course, our staff are one part of our community, but not all of it. The other part is our incredible community of dedicated supporters. Our dear friend, my dear friend, Christina Louis Dyer, who has been part of our community and part of our family since the very beginning, when she came here and spent time in Thailand, back when all we had was an empty rice field and probably a couple of friendly street dogs running around. is here to share with us some of her experience, why she supports the Freedom Story, and why she's been part of this movement. It was my particular pleasure to meet Christina and her husband when they came, I think back in 2019, and we got to not only spend time together, but actually spend time with them and the student that they had been sponsoring for a long time. So Christina, thank you so much for joining us. And would you be able to share some of your reflections on 15 years of the Freedom Story?
Hi everyone, I am so excited to be here to celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Freedom Story. I've been honored to be involved with the Freedom Story since 2009, when I first heard about the Sold Project documentary from Rachel Goebel. I had been learning about human trafficking and was inspired by the work that they were doing. I then had the unique opportunity to join them on a learning and volunteering trip to visit organizations in Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and Chiang Rai that focused on various aspects from prevention to rescue and rehabilitation. It was incredibly eye-opening to be on the ground. I left that experience feeling even more inspired and found myself doing demonstrations on my school quad to raise awareness about human trafficking, as well as hosting a benefit concert with some friends to raise funds to support the Sold Project when I returned to school at Follett Davis. I ended up returning to Thailand the following summer to travel and to spend time learning and volunteering with the Freedom Story. This time, the First Resource Center building was under construction, so I had the opportunity to spend time with staff, volunteers, and students. Some days we were participating in activities with the students and others helping the team where we could. There's even a day that included, I think, laying some cement. But most of all, I really vividly remember the contagious joy that was just throughout the center from the students. And I felt that from the lessons that they were learning to playing soccer in the dirt out front, which was wild to see how many buildings there are now. It's not just open dirt. It was really a safe and communal space. And I also remember the passion and dedication with which the staff were putting in each day. And I've continued to see that through the stories and the updates over the years. The dedication of the staff, the success of the students, and the evolution of the programming and impact the Freedom Story is having in communities really shines through and has been fundamental for why I've continued to support and follow the Freedom Story, and now I'm honored to have been invited to join the board. My husband and I had a chance to visit again in 2019, and it was incredible to see how much the center has grown. Again, I mentioned we were playing soccer in the dirt, and in addition to the first center that was there when I visited in 2010, there were now many more buildings, including a silkworm facility where folks in the community could learn how to raise and harvest silk as a source of income. And so this is just one of the many examples of how over the years, again, I continued to be impressed with the leadership, the commitment, the innovation, and the positive change that is happening as a result of the Freedom Story. So whether this is the first time that you've heard about the Freedom Story or if you've been involved for a few years, I highly encourage you to learn more about what they're doing and consider supporting. It's amazing to see what the team, the students, and their families have accomplished in the past 15 years, and I know there are huge things to come.
Thank you so much, Christina. You have got such an amazing heart for the children and young people here in Thailand, and you are a huge part of the Freedom Story family, and we are very thankful for you and your family. Before we get to the part that we're all waiting for, Somying, of course, we want to take another moment to look at our silent auction bids. There's some big ticket items that are going quite quickly, and I don't want you to miss out. Alana's here in the chat with some of the items, and you'll want to keep an eye on them. So we're going to give you a few minutes to go back and check out the party favors with our silent auction.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. We are taking some time for our silent auction. I wanted to talk about some of the items that we have this year. We have a lot of incredible wine, especially from the Willamette Valley in Oregon. So we've got a case of wine from Patricia Green. You're definitely going to want to check that out. We've got Charles Krug Winery. We've got an amazing olive oil basket and amazing honey from Olivia. Definitely want to check that one out. And we've got some really beautiful handmade items from Thailand, a couple nativity sets, and some Christmas ornaments that I think would make really wonderful Christmas gifts for people. So check those out. We've got baseball tickets. Any baseball fans? Was not a great season, I think, for either the Oakland A's or the Nationals this year, but there's always next year. And then some really wonderful ethical clothing items. We've got a gift card to Outlander Denim. We've got a couple bags that are made ethically, and some jewelry as well. So be sure to check those out. And then some really great and exciting experiences. So a lot of things in the Bay Area for those of you that are based in the Bay. We've got San Francisco Ballet tickets, Oakland Ballet tickets, Six Flags, golf at Wente Vineyards, a lot of really exciting things, as well as a really fun online cooking class, online cooking Thai food. So you can rewatch this and eat Thai food that you've made yourself, or just have fun with friends and cook some Thai food. And then we've got an amazing trip to Belize for two. So lots of really great items. They're getting a lot of attention. So make sure you go and get your bids in. And thank you so, so much to everybody who's donated.
Okay, we're back. Are you ready to meet Somying? I know she's excited to meet you as well. I wanted to put together a few clips from a video we made a few years ago that I think will help to introduce Somying to you. When we first met Somying, her single mother simply could not financially support both her and her younger sister to stay in school. She was very at risk of leaving school, very at risk of trafficking, and instead has ended up in a place of real resilience and real strength because of the work of the Freedom Story and because of her own hard dedication to her studies and to her success. So we're going to watch some of these clips together, and if you have any questions for Somying in the meantime, make sure you pop them in the chat and we'll bring them up in the live Q&A that we have with her later this evening.
สำหรับน้องสมหญิงนะคะเป็นเรื่องที่ยากแล้วก็ลำบากมากสำหรับครอบครัวน้องสมหญิงนะคะคุณแม่ของเขาก็ต้องรับภาระในการที่จะเลี้ยงดูลูกสองคนนี้ด้วยตัวคนเดียวเองโดยการที่มีอาชีพก็คือรับจ้างทั่วไปบ้างแล้วก็ไปทำงานที่โรงงานน้ำดื่มนะคะ
พ่อแม่เหรอคะสำหรับหนูนี่คือมีแต่แม่คนเดียวค่ะพ่อนี่คือติดคุกตั้งแต่ตอนหนูอายุ2 ขวบกว่าค่ะถ้าถามว่าหนักไหมก็หนักพอสมควร
ก็เลยทำให้เด็กรู้สึกว่าเขาไม่มีที่พึ่งไม่รู้ว่าจะไปปรึกษาที่ใครชีวิตของเขาว่าทำไมต้องมาเจออะไรแบบนี้ทำไมต้องเป็นแบบนี้แบบนั้นใช่ไหมคะเขาก็จะรู้สึกท้อแท้มองไม่เห็นอนาคตว่าอนาคตของเขาควรจะเป็นยังไงก็คือกรณีแบบนี้ก็จะถือว่าเขาก็อยู่ในกลุ่มเสี่ยงเขาก็เหมือนกับว่ามีความฝันอยู่ตลอดว่าฉันอยากไปนั่นไปนี่ไปเรียนที่ประเทศจีนนะก็การเรียนการสอนที่นู่นก็จะเป็นภาษาจีนเนาะอย่างเงี้ยกังวลไหม
แล้วแม่บอกว่าในใจนี่คิดตลอดเลยว่าเมืองจีนมันไกลเกินเงี้ยแต่ถ้าแบบเรียนในประเทศก็จะไม่ห่วงขนาดนั้นค่ะมีชีวิตอย่างเขาค่ะอย่างมีใจเย็นเหมือนเขาใจที่อดทนใจที่ถ่อม
ก็เดี๋ยวถ้าเรื่องของแม่ก็เดี๋ยวจะช่วยคุยให้อีกทีหนึ่งเนาะแม่ก็จะได้เห็นภาพแล้วก็เข้าใจมากยิ่งขึ้นเนาะเราจะรักเขาอย่างไม่มีเงื่อนไขเนาะว่าเขาก็ท้อแท้นะเพราะว่าแม่ก็เหมือนกับว่าไม่อยากให้เขาไปเพราะว่าเป็นห่วงแล้วเพราะว่าเป็นผู้หญิงด้วยอะไรเงี้ย
저이제다티비백가도가하러 저뭐뭐저희가내전에병원다샤며병원화에 ngunyala요
na inyo po ba ayo ne nu che tha mi ne ayo bi ima leถึง be la kha che ngai no kon
你话了哈这面然后西来了มีเยอะกันแล้วจะถือแล้ว
หนูมีความเชื่อค่ะว่ามันต้องเป็นไปได้1ถ้าเราตั้งใจ2ถ้าเรามุ่งมั่นค่ะสิ่งเหล่านี้มันต้องเป็นไปให้ได้ค่ะ
ก็เชิญสุยินก่อนเลยครับเป็นตัวแทนของม .6 ตรงนี้ให้หน่อยครับ
ส่งโปรเจกต์นะคะที่เหมือนกับว่าได้เป็นอีกครอบครัวหนึ่งให้สิ่งหนึ่งที่หนูแล้วก็หลายๆคนที่จะทำได้ก็คือจะตั้งใจเรียนแล้วก็จะนำความฝันกลับมาที่นี่อีกครั้งหนึ่งขอบคุณค่ะขอบคุณมากค่ะพี่หนูพูดไม่ออกแล้วอย่าร้องไห้เลยหนูจะไม่ลืมพี่เขาแล้วสู้ขอบคุณค่ะ
Stories are so incredibly powerful, and they are at the heart of who we are as an organization, even from day one as we started from the documentary that was made about Kat's life. Somying's life just a few short years ago was incredibly difficult. Her family background put her at huge risk and vulnerability for trafficking and for dropping out of school. But today, with the support of Freedom Story and with her hard work, she's really thriving. She's graduated from university, she has a stable career and clear goals and a great family life. We're so incredibly proud of her and really excited for her to share an update on her life with you. So we're going to show that clip now, and if you have any questions, we'll have a live section afterwards where you can talk to Somying, so make sure you pop those in the Q&A as well.
ตั้งแต่หนูอายุประมาณ
When I was 2 years old, my father was arrested on drug-related charges,
เข้าคุกเนื่องจากที่
but he was actually just a scapegoat. After that, my life became more difficult.
Looking back to that point, Somying was only 2 years old in 10 days. To this point, I never thought that being with my daughter and family would bring so much joy to me.
I first received the scholarship starting when I was in grade 10. My sister had also received the same scholarship. Before that, we didn't know there were scholarships like this available. Before getting the scholarship, I believed that higher education was unnecessary and unrealistic because my mother was a single parent and would be unable to support us. Receiving this scholarship inspired me to dream big and achieve my goals. My education would not be as advanced without this scholarship. I would not have gone to China or even applied to university. I would have dropped out of primary school, like most of the kids in my area who are forced to drop out and work. But after getting the scholarship, I realized that my dreams extended beyond high school. And I got the confidence to chase my dream. Before the program, I couldn't think of creative solutions to my problems. I kept them to myself and cried alone because I didn't want my mother to see me cry. After the program, I met my mentors, who offered me guidance and assisted me in resolving my challenges. Going to China was the most difficult decision I've ever had to make, because my mother always advised me to study close to home so that I could be with her and my sister. But I knew that going to China would open many opportunities in the future. Throughout my time there, the Freedom Story assisted me with monthly scholarships, which was quite beneficial to me because my mother could not support my education abroad on her own. I currently work as an interpreter for a private company in Chiang Mai, and I was allowed to work from home during the pandemic. Meanwhile, I work a variety of part-time jobs, including teaching and activities with vulnerable children, which are all fantastic opportunities for me. Many of the mentors at the Freedom Story are my role models. I want to do the same things they did for me and pass on what I learned. Everything I've gotten from here has been excellent. Every mentor is like a family member, providing me advice and guiding me through difficult times. I am extremely proud of myself for making the right decision to leave my comfort zone to see the world and chase my dream. And I got a good job and was able to support my family, especially my mother, which was my ultimate goal. If I had the opportunity to be like my mentors and meet a vulnerable young person like me, I would give them trust, wisdom, and guidance through difficult times and help them make the correct decision, just as my mentors have done for me.
Hi, everyone. We are so excited to be joined today by Boss and Somying, who are here to share with us a little bit about how Somying is doing today. Boss is our on-staff interpreter with the Freedom Story. You want to say
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. It's an honor for me to be here, and I just want to thank everybody just for being here. This means a lot to me and to every staff member in the office. So if you guys have any question, just put it in the comment section and then I will translate it for you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Boss. Hi, Somying.
สวัสดีค่ะ
I think they actually had a big earthquake this morning in Thailand, so I'm glad you guys are safe and you're doing okay.
We are okay. Thank you.
Somying, we had 2 questions for you so far. The first question is, if you could tell your 12-year-old self anything, what would you tell her?
ครับผมก็คำถามแรกนะครับถามน้องสมหญิงว่าถ้าสมมุติย้อนกลับไปเจอตัวเองตอนอายุ12ปีเนี่ยอยากจะบอกอะไรกับตัวเองในวัยเด็กไหมครับ
ก็คือบอกเมื่อก่อนตัวเองตอนอายุ12ปีใช่ไหมคะเมื่อ12ปีที่ผ่านมาใช่ไหมคะ
ตอนอายุ12ใช่ครับ
ก็อยากจะบอกกับตัวเองเมื่อ12ปีที่ผ่านมาว่าสมหญิงตัดสินใจถูกแล้วที่เลือกเส้นทางที่ตัดสินใจที่จะเดินแบบนี้ค่ะ
So if she could go back to her younger self, she want to say that you will make the right decision and you have choose the right path to walk into the future.
ถึงแม้ว่าณตอนนั้นยังไม่แน่ใจว่าแบบเป็นเส้นทางที่เราจะเดินได้หรือเปล่าแต่ก็ขอบคุณ The Freedom Story ที่ให้ความมั่นใจว่าฉันสามารถเดินตามเส้นทางความฝันของเธอได้ค่ะ
Even though at the time she wasn't sure that this path is the possible dream, but she want to thank to the Freedom Story that to help her with this dream and to help her to accomplish these impossible dreams.
That's so nice. Thank you so much, Somying. Do you have a favorite memory with the Freedom Story?
ครับคำถามที่2นะครับก็คืออยากจะทราบว่าความทรงจำไหนของน้องสมหญิงที่เป็นความทรงจำที่ชอบที่สุดที่มีกับ The Freedom Story ครับ
น่าจะเป็นช่วงที่รู้สึกว่าไม่มีความหวังแล้วค่ะแล้วก็เหมือน The Freedom Story ก็เป็นความหวังหนึ่งที่ทำให้เรานั้นสามารถยืนหยัดแล้วก็กล้าที่จะเดินตามความฝันค่ะ
So her favorite memory is that when she was at her darkest moment and she seemed to lost hope, but the Freedom Story came in and then give her hope and give her like enlightening her life. So she wants to thank you everyone and the Freedom Story for make everything possible.
เหตุการณ์ที่มันอันนี้ที่สุดก็คือช่วงที่จะเรียนต่อค่ะก็คือเป็นช่วงที่แม่ก็บอกว่าก็ไม่ต้องไปละแต่ก็ The Freedom Story ก็เหมือนช่วยพาหนูไปถึงความฝันนั้นที่แบบที่สามารถแบบไปต่อได้อะค่ะแม่ก็มีความมั่นใจมากขึ้นว่าโอเคเราไปได้นะอย่างเงี้ย
And one of that moment is that when she deciding to went to go study abroad in China, and then her mother is not allowing her to do so. But the Freedom Story came in and then talked to her mother, and then yeah, and then that dream is possible because of the freedom story. So that is one of the favorite memory of her with the freedom story.
Thank you so much, Somying. We're very proud of you. You're very brave. We have a question for you here from Chase. Says, everyone's saying thank you so much for being here and for sharing your story with us today. He was asking, what gives you hope when you work with children that have similar experiences to yours?
Um, ถามว่าอะไรคืออะไรที่ให้ความหวังน้องสมหญิงนะครับเวลาทำงานร่วมกับเด็กที่พบเจอสถานการณ์เดียวกัน
ตอนนี้เหรอคะที่หนูทำงานอยู่หรือเปล่าคะ
ใช่ครับ
อะไรคือความหวังล่ะคะ
ใช่ครับ
เหมือนเราเคยได้รับโอกาสค่ะแล้วเราก็พอโตขึ้นเราก็เหมือนอยากจะเป็นคนที่ให้โอกาสกับเด็กๆเหล่านั้นเพราะว่าหนูเชื่อว่าเด็กๆทุกคนเหมือนเรากำลังหว่านเมล็ดค่ะแล้วหนูเชื่อว่าเมล็ดทุกเมล็ดที่เราหว่านสามารถที่จะเติบโตแล้วก็เขาก็จะเป็นความหวังให้กับได้อีกกับทุกๆคนค่ะก็เชื่อแล้วก็มีพละใจในด้านนี้เพราะว่าเห็นพี่ๆทุกคนเขาก็ทำงานด้วยใจใช่ไหมคะแล้วเราก็รู้สึกว่าเราก็ได้รับถึงความอบอุ่นทุกอย่างที่เขานั้นได้ให้กับพวกเราแล้วเราก็อยากจะเป็นอีกคนหนึ่งที่สามารถให้ต่อกับคนอื่นๆค่ะ
so she said that because she was the children who have received the hope from the freedom story, and then now she is complete. She got her achievement. So she want to share her hope to other children as well. She said that it's like we are planting the trees, and then she is like putting the seed in the soil and then hoping one day that it will grow into the beautiful trees. And then she said that she have received many love and warmth and kindness from her mentors. So she want to give that hope and warmth to other children as well.
Thank you so much. We have a couple more questions. Thanks everyone for your questions. We have a question. What is the accomplishment that you are most proud of? Or what is something you've done that you're most proud of?
ครับคำถามต่อไปนะครับก็คือความสำเร็จไหนที่น้องสมหญิงภูมิใจมากที่สุดครับผม
ความสำเร็จไหนที่ภูมิใจมากที่สุดก็ความสำเร็จที่จบการศึกษาจากประเทศจีนมาได้แล้วก็เหมือนเมื่อ 5-6 ปีที่แล้วที่หนูได้สัญญากับ The Freedom Story ว่าเราจะนำความฝันนั้นกลับมาอีกครั้งหนึ่งแล้วหนูก็ทำได้จริงๆค่ะ
So she said that the most proud moment is that when she graduated from China, and also she have made a promise to everyone in the Freedom Story that she will bring back the accomplishment, and she have done that, and that is something that she is really proud of.
We are very proud of you too, Somying. One more question for you. What advice would you have for kids in the scholarship program today?
ครับผมคำถามต่อมานะครับก็คือว่าน้องสมหญิงมีคำแนะนำอะไรที่อยากจะบอกกับนักเรียนทุนในปัจจุบันไหมครับ
อยากจะบอกนักเรียนทุนทุกๆคนก็คือน้องๆทุกๆคนนะคะว่าพวกเราทุกคนโชคดีมากๆที่ได้มาเจอ The Freedom Story เพราะว่าเขาให้โอกาสกับพวกเราที่จะเดินตามความฝันของเราทุกคนคือทุกคนมีสิทธิ์ที่จะฝันแล้วก็มีสิทธิ์ที่จะเดินตามความฝันของตัวเองค่ะ
So she want to say to every scholarship student that we are really lucky to have the Freedom Story to provide us with the chance to chasing our dream, and she want to say that our dream is possible if we like work hard and keep believing.
You've definitely made your dreams possible, Somying, so we're very proud of you for that. Final question for you tonight. Is there anything you would like to say to the community who's watching?
คำถามสุดท้ายนะครับก็คือน้องสมหญิงมีอะไรอยากจะบอกกับคอมมูนิตี้ท่านผู้ชมของพวกเราไหมครับที่กำลังดูอยู่ตอนนี้ครับ
ขอบคุณทุกคนที่มาดูคลิปของเรานะคะแล้วก็ขอบคุณผู้สนับสนุนทุกๆคนที่ให้โอกาสกับพวกเราค่ะเชื่อว่าเด็กๆทุกคนก็ดีใจมากๆที่ได้มาเจอโอกาสนี้เพราะว่ามันสำคัญมากๆสำหรับพวกเขาค่ะ
So she wants to thank everyone and every supporter for every support to her and to other children. She said that this is really important because without this support, their dream will never be possible.
That's so great. Thank you so much, Somying. Thank you, boss. We are so thankful for you both joining us this evening. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Somying, and to everyone who has worked so hard to put this really wonderful evening together. As you know, we are the only organization dedicated to entirely preventing child trafficking. We are a leader both in northern Thailand, but also throughout Southeast Asia. And next year, we want to continue to scale our impact to reach more vulnerable children through our partners. We want to build on our decade and a half of child prevention work experience and expertise to help equip like-minded organizations, churches, schools, and other groups to prevent child trafficking in their own communities and therefore reach more children than we ever thought possible. The risk of trafficking and exploitation has grown exponentially since COVID. COVID really depleted most people's small savings or any kind of financial cushion or buffer that they had, and it's forced people to make really desperate financial decisions. We're seeing more children drop out of school than ever before, and most recently we have seen an increase, an astronomical, if I'm being totally honest, increase into trafficking into the border areas with Myanmar and Laos, both of which directly border Chiang Rai, where we're working and where we have worked for the last 15 years. These new areas with their new forms of trafficking and exploitation are so urgent and are so difficult that actually Interpol released a global warning about them earlier this year, which really just shows how pressing and how urgent this issue is. Over the last 15 years, we have honed our risk assessment tools, our prevention programs, and we have developed a very strong base of expertise. We're looking to the next 15 years with a huge amount of anticipation and excitement about what we can do even further afield to support vulnerable young people who want to stay in school, who are looking for opportunity to thrive. Our vision is for a world in which every student's story is the story of freedom, of safety, possibility, and we are really looking forward to continuing to grow our partnerships throughout Southeast Asia to ensure that children throughout this region have every opportunity that they need in order to thrive and to experience lives of opportunity and choice. Because we've worked here in Chiang Rai for the last 15 years, we see very clearly how our students and our young people are extremely at risk of being trafficked into these new forms of trafficking and criminality on the border areas that border directly the villages that they're living in. So we know just how vulnerable they are, and we know that our work is needed now more than ever. But with 15 years of experience, lessons learned, and expertise, we also know that we can rise to meet this challenge with your support. This holiday season, we are raising $100,000 to bring 330 new students into our program next year. That's 330 young people, just like Somying, who will never experience exploitation and abuse because of your support. It's 330 young people who otherwise are highly vulnerable to exploitation, highly vulnerable to experiencing horrific forms of trafficking, who with our support have the opportunity to stay in school, the opportunity to thrive, and the opportunity to really achieve their dreams. Tonight is the launch of our end-of-year campaign with an incredible $50,000 match, meaning every single gift that you give is doubled. The impact is doubled throughout the entire holiday season. And we know that every single gift is a sacrifice that comes from people's hearts. So we are ensuring that we are efficient and that we are effective with the money that you donate. We are very careful to ensure that we use the money to the best of our ability to serve our community. 100% of the money that you give tonight and throughout the holiday season will go directly to ensuring young people like Somying never experience exploitation and abuse. I know that this season and this year in particular, there are a lot of different causes that you could give to and a lot of organizations that have great needs, many parts of the world that have great need. I would love to invite you to stand with Freedom Story to protect vulnerable Thai children from experiencing exploitation and abuse. There are 3 ways for you to give, and we're going to pull them up on the screen for you now. The first is online through our website, and Alana's going to drop that in the chat. The second is to our Venmo. Our Venmo tag is thefreedomstory.org. And the third is by check. You can see our address here on the screen as well. So as we bring our evening to a close, I would like to propose a toast. If you have a beverage handy, or maybe 2, or maybe 3, why don't you grab it, fill it up, and join me. And I'll invite some of my team in to say thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everyone who helped put this evening together so that we could celebrate over the last 15 years. And I would like to raise a glass to you, our community, who have made all of this possible, to my incredible team who work so hard every day, and to the thousands of people that we have impacted over the last 15 years and all the lives that we have changed. Are you ready? Cheers to the Freedom Story. Cheers. We are so thankful for your support and for all the ways that you have come alongside the Freedom Story and alongside vulnerable children in the last few years. We are so thankful for everything, and we are so glad that you could be here to celebrate with us. On behalf of myself, on behalf of our students, and their families, and our wider staff, truly thank you. Khobun ka. Thank you so much. Again, I would love to invite you to give generously today. Your gifts are matched between now and the end of the year, so your generosity goes even further. And maybe spread the word. Talk to your friends and family about the Freedom Story and the amazing work that you are part of here in Northern Thailand. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for everything that you've done for us. Bye.